It is one of the best weekends of the year, and it is finally here as we begin it off with a preliminary final preview on Friday nights between the Sydney Swans and Port Adelaide Power. Going into this game, a general quick recap of past finals results that overall led them to get to the Final Four and led them to get this shot at an appearance in the Grand Final. Sydney also coming off a scintillating qualifying final win, one of the most famous of all time against the GIS Giants, whilst Port Adelaide had an absolute stinker against Geelong Cats, but rebounded insanely well to defeat the red-hot Hollywood Hawks to advance to this stage. They brought insane pressure in that game, in that moment, in that time, and they're going to need to do the same thing if they are to topple who have been the best team all year in the Sydney Swans on Friday night. Heading into the overall battles, the midfield need of both teams are the best in the competition easily. For the Sydney Swans, when Taylor Adams is your 8th best midfielder, that says something on the general power and domination of your list, paired by the three-headed monster of Heaney, Goulden and Warner, who I've said before, bigger men than me fear. For Port Adelaide, they also have a three-headed monster of their own in Rosie Buzz and Horn Francis. But Travis Boak, a continent veteran, is solid him as a 7th ranked rotation player in this midfield. It is overall ripped, right and raw pickings for Ruckman, Jordan Sweet and Brodie Grundy to throw and punch the ball and tap the ball to in their moment of needs. For the Swans defense consists of James Rowbottom leading the charge, the Lizard Nick Blakey and Ollie Foran, who is incredible defensive backup, and Tom McCartan, who my family knows really well. Whilst Port Adelaide defense very much improved over this summer, consists of Alir, Brendan Zirk-Thatcher, and Darcy Byrne-Jones every now and then entering the fold, and Asava Agoya coming to and back which way. For the forward line, the Port Adelaide forward line will suffer a loss heading to this game with the loss of Todd Marshall to concussion. So the King Charlie Dixon enters back into the fray. What to worry about for them is the small forward line with what Will Rioli could do when he gets possession of the ball. Whilst for the Sydney Swans, it's not a big name forward line with Amadi leading the tall forward charge, but we have small forward power in Tom Hapley, and Heaney and Warner can come in and score every now and then, and when they want to, and Luke Parker's become a constant scoring threat. You don't worry, because you are in the main frame to dominate with how I think this is now the meta in the finals. It's not big name players, but it's just all players doing their job. As for around the ground, I think the midfield is as even as you could get. And just absolutely as even as you could get. For the power defense in the Swans forward line, Alir is a big threat in this game and could be a genuine worry of the Swans scoring woes. But another worry could be potentially letting the one small forward, such as Tom Papley, off the chain. But this was a worry before the Hawthorn game, yet I thought the Power did a phenomenal job at negating the best small forward fleet in the competition. Power get the nod here in my opinion. As for the power forwards and the Swans defense, I think there's a lot of reliance on Will Rioli to make magic, and Todd Marshall out is a big factor in this one. I think the Swans will be able to get the right defensive matchup and clamp on, but if Will Rioli can get off the chain, which we've seen him do in a putt against Hawthorn, Power can win this, dialing Overall, extremely even matchups throughout the ground, and it could swing either way in either direction for either team based on just in general matchups and results, because they are well evenly fitted with each other. As for taggers, I think there's a chance that I think Jay Jordan goes on Zach Butters. I think he tries to put the tag and padlock on Zach Butters, but it will be interesting to see how Horn Francis potentially does if he does that, because he might be left for lead to be able to dominate. As for past history in this matchup, if you're looking at past history, despite not much past history in the finals going Flyers' way, they have gotten the matchup they want in this preliminary final. The Power have won 8 straight against the Sydney Swans, and a 9th straight will finally book a longer way to grand final appearance over Ken Hinkley. They have the mental edge. They seem to know how to beat this team more than anyone else over the last few years. Yet the betting makers only have them at $3 to win. It is a serious mental edge, and I think Adelaide can really use that to their advantage on Friday night to try and gain an advantage. But Sydney could also use a mental advantage in trying to put pressure on the Power late in games. Because if the Power bring what they did against the Cats, they're going to get destroyed this game. Because you know Sydney will come in with a work-like effort, a dominant effort, a consequential effort, a win-at-all-costs effort. That's just the Bloods' culture. That's what they do. And at the SCG, they won't want to lose this game. And overall, they'll be saying to themselves, this past record that Adelaide has, it doesn't mean anything today. And there is past history to suggest it won't. In 2012, when Sydney won their last premiership, Collingwood, before the preliminary final, had won their last 11 against the Swans before losing to the Swans in that program. So there is past history in this. But I think overall the start of this game is absolutely massive in that charge. If Adelaide start off strong, they can put the mental doubts into Sydney and have them thinking, we really can't beat this team, and just have them panicking. And I think if they bring the constant pressure they did against Hawthorn, I think they can win this game for Adelaide. I really think they can. But indeed, Sydney have proven this year you only need to be off for one quarter to lose against them. And I think same will be on Friday night. If the Power go off on their pressure for one straight, and I think if it's a big lead in the last quarter, they were their starting falter, Sydney can put the mental game based on how we've seen them come back in the past. So overall, it is going to be very interesting. The winner of this game will have an appearance in the 2024 Toyota AFL Grand Final. As for who I think is going to win, I really can see all the arguments of the Power winning, and I really have laid them through, and I really think they're more shot than people think in this game. Yeah, I'm tipping the Swans by 11. I just think their belief, like they've built all throughout this year to come from behind from any situation, what like Collingwood last year, and just in general, just playing in front of their home crowd, the pressure they can and bring potentially is just, I think it's top notch, and I reckon it's the biggest in the competition at the moment, and I reckon that, despite the hard matchup they'll have in front of them, will help them get over the line. Plus, I do think there's a little bit of I'm not liking the vibes from Palawa when it comes to mood before the games. They seem a lot more relaxed heading into this game. Now they've won, and David Koch has said that Ken Hinkley will be coaching in 2025. It's just a little bit worrying because because it seems that like Adelaide only play like legitimately well when like Ken Hinkley is like seriously under pressure and like his job is on the line, and they seem to like relax as a group when like Ken Hinkley is safe. Like that's just the impression I get from this group, and like there shouldn't be any need for extra motivation in this game. You're playing for a spot in the grand final. That should be motivation enough to win, but I don't know, it's just I feel like they're a little more calmer than last week, and that just worries me based on past history. So that's another reason I'm going for the Swans. So yeah, should be a massive game on Friday night, and it'll be very interesting to see who goes on and wins this. Best of luck to both players in this, with the winner getting a trip to the grand final.